A US-based human rights group says hundreds of people have been killed in the latest round of fighting between Israel and Iran. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Iran will pay a heavy price for civilian deaths. Joining me live now is Liberal Senator and former Ambassador to Israel, Dave Sharma. It's good to see you, Dave. The death toll, though, continues to climb on both sides, and Israel says these attacks on Iran is likely to take weeks, not days. Missiles above the skies of Jerusalem and Tel Aviv when we came into work this morning. What's your reaction to what we have been seeing?
Well, clearly it's a very tense and dangerous time in the Middle East. Large chunks of the airspace are closed. We're seeing oil prices rise as a result of attacks on energy infrastructure. But I would also point out, look, Israel and Iran have been in conflict for some time, for several years, and what's happened now is this conflict has been brought out into the open. Prime Minister Netanyahu said that this operation will last days, and I believe it will, several days, until Israel feels it is sufficiently degraded or disabled or destroyed Iran's nuclear infrastructure, its ballistic missile capability, and harms a significant part of its leadership. But until that operation concludes, we'll continue to get Iranian retaliation against Israel, and I think it will continue to be a very tense time in the region.
And Foreign Minister Penny Wong has urged both sides for restraint and urged a return to dialogue and diplomacy. Then Israel's ambassador to Australia said in response, quote, "Words don't stop warheads." What's your reaction to that?
Look, it's obviously quite common for countries around the world to be calling for restraints and dialogue. But look, I'd just say that, firstly, part of the reason for this war is the failure of dialogue. There have been multiple rounds of negotiations held with Iran to try and reassure the rest of the world about its intentions with regard to its nuclear capabilities, including most recently a US-Iranian round of talks, and those have singularly failed to address those concerns. So unless Iran is prepared to change its red lines, if you like, what it's willing to negotiate, I don't see much prospect for dialogue. And look, obviously, I'm not calling for escalation, but I'm also mindful that both sides now have key national interests at stake, and that war will continue whilst those national interests are being prosecuted or defended.